Dear children, now we are ready to introduce the competency level 2.3. Uses different techniques to separate mixtures. Even though 5 periods are allocated to this lesson, do not think it is not important. Why I say so? You have thoroughly understand the scientific concept behind each technique. If you refer the past papers, many of the times structured or essay type questions comes from this small section. This competency level is given under the lesson 3 in your textbooks from page 52 to 67. I advise you to read the textbook before watch each of the video or else read it after watching the video. To cover the whole lesson, you have to watch 8 small video clips. They are given as separation techniques lesson 1, 2, 3, so on up to 8. If you understand the scientific concept behind the technique, no need to memorize. Then think how and where you can use it. Yes, let's proceed to the topic. Separation of compounds in mixtures. At this point, you have learnt about the mixtures. If you cannot remember, please watch the previous videos and refresh your mind. When there are different types of mixtures, it is obvious that we should have separate techniques for each of them. Before move to the topic, study the learning outcomes. When you finish these 8 lessons, you should be able to achieve these points. You should be able to describe the given separation technique. You should be able to separate components of a mixture by using different separation techniques. And you should be able to give examples for instances where given separation techniques are used. Describes the process of salt production from seawater, points out the separation techniques that are being used in that salt industry. Describes the process of extraction of essential oils from natural sources in Sri Lanka. Why I have given this slide here or point here? Because always remember this in your exam papers or in your O-level exam paper, all the questions are formed to check whether you have achieved these objectives or understood the concept properly. So I advise all of you to look at the learning points that are given in the teacher's guide. Thereby you can get an idea about what you have to study and how to study. Now recall what you have learned in the mixtures lesson. Mixtures are of 2 types as homogeneous and heterogeneous forms. As I mentioned and explained in a lengthy manner, in homogeneous mixtures, all the constituents spread evenly within a particular zone or an area. In such zone, it is difficult to identify the solutes and the solvents. However, in heterogeneous mixtures, the solutes and the solvents are located in different regions. That is why we said it as heterogeneous mixture. The constituents are in the forms of molecules, colloids, suspensions or as sediments. I hope you are familiar with these words in the solubility lesson. Sometimes these different types of particles also can be distributed evenly in the heterogeneous mixtures also. Now these lessons give you an idea about the different methods that can be used to differentiate the constituents from the homogeneous and heterogeneous mixtures. The method of separations are different to each other, that is obvious. We have to use different techniques, and the use of techniques depend on the nature of the mixture. Some are very simple while some are very complex. Whatever the method we use, we have to pay our attention on two factors. What are these two factors? You have to pay your attention about the nature of the mixture and the importance of the constituent which should be separated from the mixture. That means whether we want to separate solvents from the solution or solute from the solution. Now we came to the end of this introductory video. Here I would like to pay a special thank for Mr. G.D. Subasinghe, a retired science project officer of NIE Sri Lanka. To prepare all these slides, I have taken many facts from his books, his science book. So I have to remind his name here. Now I would like to summarize the introduction lesson as mixtures are of two types. Therefore need separation, different separation techniques, and selection of the techniques depends on not only the type but also the importance of the constituent that needed to separate. Finally, to understand the whole topic, you have to watch other 7 lessons. If you think this teaching is clear and you are happy with that, please write a comment and share the link with your friends.